able to make a computer so cold, because the colder a computer is, the more efficient it is. That's why computers have fans and everything, because when it heats up, it gets less efficient. So, by making a computer super, 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 super cold, by reaching not exactly absolute zero, which is impossible, but getting to that point and reaching quantum physics, it would be able to go so fast that it would be able to be both a 1 and a 0 at the same time. Basically, a light that's able to be on and off at the same time, which is wild and crazy to think. And that concept is very difficult for people to be able to wrap their heads around. Like, how can something be on and off at the same time? Because that's what binary is. Binary is essentially a light bulb being on or off and having those two states. And with that, people have been able to make incredibly long sequences to be able to tell computers how to do insanely complicated and amazing things. Just by having a bunch of little switches saying, oh, is it this thing, is it this other thing? It's insane. It's absolutely amazing. But the way that I think I figured out as a way to try and understand what a light being turned on and off is a glitch in Minecraft. You know how sometimes in Minecraft, if it gets a little laggy, I don't know if this is for everyone or if everyone's experienced it, but sometimes you'll be like mining a block. Let's say you're mining some stone, and then the block blinks out of existence, then blinks back in for a second, and then it drops the cobblestone. But if you try and walk through the block, you can actually go through the block. So, it's there, but it's registered as not being there, even though you can technically walk through it, and it looks like the block is actually there. But it hasn't quite caught up yet that it's not supposed to be displaying the block, but you're holding in your hand the cobblestone. So that's sort of what quantum computing is, that it goes so fast that it's able to both be on and off at the same time. So, if you, and scientists are still trying to figure out uses for that, because it seems like it'd be really cool, and useful. So imagine being able to, you'd look at a block briefly that's there, let's say somebody mined it, and it blinked out of existence, and you walk into the block and it's still there, then you walk back out, and it's still in between glitching until the game eventually updates and then remembers that it's not supposed to be there. And then you have somebody walk by for just a second and then see the block and then walk away. And then, the person leaves their computer, and then they walk back and the block is gone. It's like, you'd think that somebody would have minded, but let's say that, you had some sort of camera pointed at the computer to show that, you weren't there, and the block disappears. But nobody saw the screen, which we're starting to get into Schrodinger's cat, almost, where it's like, oh, if you didn't see somebody move the thing, did it really happen or not? No, it's not necessarily Schrodinger's cat, but you don't know until you actually set up a separate observer to watch with the camera, whether somebody did it or not. But imagine being able to do something where you could have a thing not exist for certain properties, but it would exist in other properties. So it would be the equivalent of doing hide and seek, where you'd hide behind the blocks. You'd make an empty space behind a block that you mined. So you'd have the empty block, then you'd clear the block behind it, then one hole down, so you could run in. The character being 2 blocks high would fall underneath, and that block would disappear, but it looks like it's still a solid block. So if you looked at the plane from a slightly lower angle, then you'd look outwards, and you'd think that it was just a solid block. You wouldn't think that you could walk through it, but you were able to walk through it. And then somebody walks away, and then you'd be able to jump out of the hole and be like, ha, was a disguise. So essentially, scientists are trying to find out a practical way to use that, but for science. Essentially. A way to be able to make it look like you have a two-space hole that you dug without actually having to get out of it, something like that. And it would only be there for a short time. But that's basically the way I can explain this scientific principle of scientists trying to figure out how to use a 1 and a 0 at the same time, due to it going super, super slowly, and also trying to explain what that means. So, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my weird science